Welcome back. Another great, insightful conversation with Dr. Michelle Rankine. She, of course, is a franchise owner right at home, and they've just launched a new national guide program to support dementia caregivers in North Texas, which is amazing. Now, we've talked about some of the guidelines. What are some of give us some stories of some people that have used a program like this and it's been helpful.
Sure. I'll give you a patient that we service, and she was so thankful. And similar to what we spoke about earlier is that sometimes when you put your loved one in a memory care because you realize I can't care for them anymore at home, you equally still have the same stress. When we met with this sister who's caring for her sister in the memory care, she was highly stressed, and every day, because it calmed her down to see her sister, even though she has dementia, and some days she knew who she was and some days she wasn't, she said she felt so stressed. And her sister is in Plano, and she is in Flower Mound. And she's of older age. It's hard for her to get on the highway. She doesn't like to get on Sam Rayburn or George Bush.
Who does?
And, for someone over 65 to do that every day is a lot. And she felt such relief once she heard about the pilot program when we presented it at that memory care. She said this has given back her time so she can go golfing, so she could rest. Even though I will say 72 hours is not a lot. But we separated 4 hours over the course of different weeks so she could have a break and she didn't have to go. And she's just been extremely thankful for this program. I'll tell you, we also have other families where we had a couple that we were caring for, and their loved ones that are managing the care are actually in Washington. And so having this opportunity to have this program saved them money that they're not paying out of pocket, because when we think of care, it is expensive. You're looking around for agency $30 to $40 an hour.
That is pretty expensive, too, especially when you're dealing with your own bills and just things like medicine and what have you, man, with a program like this. So now, just in case somebody just joined us, this Right at Home program, can you kind of give us a synopsis again of what this program is about?
Sure. This program is through Medicare. And what it stands for is the guide. And the guide is to guide and improve dementia experience. And the theory behind this is we want to care for the caregivers who are caring for those that have dementia.
I think it's so unique. I just love that. I mean, I really do, because who takes care of the caregiver?
No one does. No one cares for the caregiver. And I think this is what is so exciting. And I've been in this industry for 12 years. I have never seen a program like this. More or less, I've never seen the government back a program like this. And to see that this is where we're heading. And when you look at the numbers in regards to how many people have dementia, currently today in the U.S., over 6.5 million people over the age of 65 have dementia. That's a lot.
Now, is it
CMS, which is a Center of Medicare Services. That's who runs Medicare and Medicaid.
The Center of Medicare Services, and they take care of all of that, and they're really the ones that are pushing this program through to help people.
Yes, and this program is a pilot program. So this is not going to be forever, but if you qualify for this program is going to be for the next 7 years.
That's a very important point.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a pilot program, and people need to qualify now.
Yes.
So who do they call?
They call Right at Home, 214-383-0555, and just mention the guide, and we'll go through the whole steps with you. All they would have to do is call Right at Home, 214-383-0555.
You get 72 hours of free
respite care.
Yeah, for is that a year?
For a year.
Okay, that's really good. I know it says 72 hours, but that's good when you can break those hours up. You're like, okay, I'm going to take 3 hours. I'm going over here. Hey, I'm going to the club. No, I'm just kidding. But you could do something.
Yeah, you can take a break.
Along those lines. Now, you do a comprehensive assessment.
Yes.
Break that down again.
Before we start care with anyone, we do a comprehensive assessment with our RN. And the biggest thing is making sure the environment is safe. As you know, many people, as they're losing their memory, if they're in their home setting, not a community setting, sometimes we have hoarders. Sometimes the house is not ready to have a caregiver yet, and we have to get some things in place. And so making sure that the setting is safe is first. The second thing that we have to do is making sure we build a unique care plan. Similar to what we mentioned before, every person with dementia is completely different. And so it's good to have a history of that person. What did they used to do for a living? I had a gentleman that was a janitor for years, and then he owned his own janitorial company. And the biggest thing that he loves to do with dementia is to sweep, right? And he finds solitude in that. And he was upset when they moved him to a community setting and memory care, and they wouldn't give him the broom. Once we gave him the broom, he was fine. He just wanted to walk around and sweep. That's something he's done. And many housewives, we see, they just want to have a load of laundry to fold. It gives them purpose. They can do something. So really get the history of that person or what they did. We've had teachers that we give a clipboard, and she walks around and she's in the memory care telling everyone what she needs to do. So I think the biggest thing is get a good history of that person, find out their likes. We call it the recipe of life. And that's the recipe for our caregivers to have in their toolkit to help when there's points of agitation.
And there will be points of agitation that comes up a lot, and that's what really increases the high stress level that a lot of the caregivers deal with. Now, you mentioned having a safe environment.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you have to do or that people should do, just suggestions to create a safe environment for someone who has dementia?
I think the biggest thing is having it less clutter. But as we know, as people age, even myself included,
lots of clutter.
I like to collect things, right? And so the biggest thing, what we want, especially with someone with dementia, is not to have a fall. Because anytime they go back to the hospital or a fall, what we see is a decline, an active decline in their dementia. The other thing is making sure, and which happens a lot with people with dementia, is UTIs. And it's because they're afraid of water and they're not wanting to drink their water. So the increase of UTIs actually increase their hallucinations as we age.
So would they drink sodas or?
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you.
It has a lot of sugar, but I'm just saying.
They're drinking all the things they should not drink. A cold pop and the Dr. Pepper and all the things. They should not. They should be drinking water, making sure they're hydrating. I always tell people, if you're someone who is hesitant to water, you have to make the water attractive to someone with dementia. Liquid IV that you can get at Target to hydrate yourself. Give them a glass of that. Then they get 8 glasses. There's also Alzheimer's jellies that you can get online that can help with hydration. There's tricks of this. It's just trying to find out those tricks.
And you really have to know the tricks of the trade when you're caring for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia.
Correct.
So break down the differences between Alzheimer's and dementia.
Well, the difference is Alzheimer's is part of the dementia diagnosis and the stream, but there's many different forms of dementia. You can have Lewy body dementia, and they present all quite differently. You can have alcohol-induced dementia, where, if you drink a lot or have had substance abuse, you can present the same forms of dementia. There's Parkinson's, which is also considered under the dementia wheel. It actually is a hand in glove in regards to dementia. You will start with the tremors and then the memory loss comes into play. There are many forms of dementia, but those are some.
Those are just a few of them. And then we just have to try to be aware of those.
Yes.
So obviously a healthy diet and what about getting exercise and the things that are important to us that way?
All the things we hear every day that we need to do needs to be continued as we age. More importantly, we need to exercise, we need to have a healthy diet, and we need to do things that we don't normally do. So I will say this, Dr. Small, there's a book called Preventing Alzheimer's. And in his book, he mentions that when you're good at crossword puzzles, great, continue doing what you love, but challenge yourself to do something that you're not normally doing so you can activate your brain differently. So for example, learn a new language. Try writing with your left hand if you're right-handed. Try brushing your teeth with your left hand.
I haven't done any of these things. Okay, all right. I'm listening.
Simple things. I say, the phone. The phone has really affected us when we think about our memory. If you asked me, Lynn, how to get from point A to point B, I'm going to put in my GPS.
That's true.
And we're losing spatial memory because I'm not paying the same level of attention when I'm driving because I'm relying on this.
That's true.
Right? And how many numbers do you know, Lynn?
Oh, yeah, I know mine.
Right. I just know my own. And so when we think about how things were 20 years ago versus today and the different skills, we need to activate those skills. So I always say to anyone, if you want to improve your memory and you're feeling you're having memory loss, but you're still there, or even if you're completely able-bodied and well, just challenge yourself every day. Start with as many words as you want to. I always say, if you start with 4 words and every time you take a bite to eat, can you remember those 4 words? Those are ways of improving your memory.
Those are ways. But, one thing that is on my bucket list is to learn another language. I've always wanted to learn French.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I'm old school. I'm like, I want to go and be in a classroom. But I noticed that everybody's like, well, everything's online now. So you don't really find that as much. So I'm going to have to try that. But that is one thing that I want to do is learn French.
Or learn how to play an instrument.
Well, that too. I piano lessons when I was a kid, but, again, it's not about me, but, definitely think that's a good idea for somebody to, take up an instrument. Or my thing, I like to sing, so it could be voice lessons, but however that may look, I think that's something that I guess we all can invest in.
Exactly. And especially if you have someone that has dementia currently and they probably can't do those kind of activities, giving them something different every day to try to see how you can engage them in another way. For some, it may be that you need to color, and maybe that's where they are, and meet them there. And then try and see if they can, do like games what we used to play with our hands and build that level of motor memory.
And that's kind of cool. I used to love hand games.
I always take the noodles that we have in the pool, grab the noodles, and I take a balloon, and we just kind of play balloon hits. And that's a way they can, build their spatial memory.
And it's helpful to the caregiver just knowing those things because, again, when you get this diagnosis, I know you're thinking like, well, now what do I do?
Exactly. And that's why this program is so great. You can call your navigator. Okay, I've run out of everything out my toolkit. I got some, but let me call. And they're going to be like, okay, try this.
That makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
We are having a great, insightful conversation with Dr. Michelle Rankine. Again, the program is Right at Home. It's a brand new guide program to help caregivers that are caring for people with dementia. Again, contact information.
214-383-0555.
She's going to say it fast every time, right?
I'm going to do it again. The number is 214-383-0555.
I love it. And what's your website information, Dr. Rankine?
It's www.rahDFW.com.
And again, there's a timeline on this program, so people need to call or get on the website, find out what you need to know, but definitely call you right away to see if they can be a part of this to help these caregivers.
Yes. They will get this benefit for the next 7 years.
7 years, that's quite a bit of time. I tell you, thank you so much for taking the time to share. This is a lot of powerful information, especially in our communities that a lot of times doesn't get to us. So thank you very much for sharing this information about this program.
I'm
Lynne Haze, and that's what's going on.